Hello, everyone. It's great to see you all here. Thank you for joining us. There are more people in here than we expected, which is a very good thing, and I think it shows the importance of this issue and how caring the people of Utah are. We welcome our friends from the media who are here with us. Thank you for joining us and helping to get the word out with this very important announcement. So let me just begin. I'll give the run of show and then we'll get started. So following my remarks, Jenny Taylor will join us. We're grateful to have Jenny with us. And then following Jenny, we will be pleased to have some remarks by Abdul Barialeh. Something, I'm sorry. I tried so hard. And after Abdul, then Naja Lockwood will address us, and then we'll conclude and have an opportunity for some photos. So why are we all here? We, like many states across the country, have witnessed the tragic circumstances in Afghanistan unfold as individuals and families were forced to flee their home country. On August 17th, I sent a letter to President Biden expressing Utah's desire to help. These Afghans were critical allies to our troops, to the NGOs and the media in Afghanistan. They put their lives on the line to protect American lives. We have so many generous and caring Utahns, and that have expressed their desire to help. Utah has always stepped up when there are crises or worldwide. In the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, as wildfires have consumed the West, and even as COVID-19 ravaged hospitals in New York City, Utahns are always there and always willing to respond and willing to welcome refugees with open arms. And now we are extending that welcome to 765 Afghans who are coming to the state of Utah. They're coming to build a new life, and we have the opportunity to help them create a bright, safe, and vibrant future. The majority of Afghans coming to Utah were granted humanitarian parole to enter the United States because of threats to their safety. They're currently at several military bases across the world, receiving thorough medical and security screenings, preparing for their resettlement. The United States Congress passed a continuing resolution that extends refugee benefits to these humanitarian parolees, including food and housing assistance. These Afghans will be able to work in Utah, sharing their talents and expertise to help build our communities. However, we know that there are going to be gaps between the funding that we receive for housing and food and the necessities that they need to make a life here in Utah. I've called on our leaders in the private sector, the philanthropic sector, refugee leaders and community groups come together and collaborate on ways to offer their support. And they have. I've been to one of their meetings. Most of you have been involved in those meetings. Lots of meetings, lots of planning, lots of partners coming together in very big ways. And so today, I am very pleased to announce the launch of Utah's Afghan Community Fund. The fund is a public-private partnership that will address resource gaps identified through an in-depth analysis. The money raised will help provide assistance in critical areas, including legal support, healthcare, education, and special needs for women and children. The Afghan Community Fund is an opportunity for businesses and individuals to donate what they can and know their money will go directly to helping those Afghans that are resettling in Utah. We have already received some very generous donations from Zions Bank and the Semnani Family Foundation, as well as in-kind contributions from Steve Price with Price Realty Group for much-needed office and warehouse space. And I would be remiss if I didn't. The great work of our friends at World Trade Center Utah, Miles and his team. Thank you, Stephen Lefevre, for working to put all of this together. Your leadership has been invaluable. We can't thank you enough. This is truly a unique and exceptional situation, unlike really any other in our nation's history. We have the responsibility and the opportunity to lend a hand to our Afghan friends and neighbors who will help make Utah an even better place to live. And we're so excited to have them coming now and more coming soon. So with that, I will excitedly turn the microphone over to our dear friend, Jenny Taylor, for a few remarks. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you, Governor. Thank you to all who are here today. Can I just say how full my heart is to see beauty in this room, men and women from all around the world standing next to these two flags, the flag of the great state of Utah and the flag of the United States of America. I can think back to my first interaction with a refugee from Afghanistan. It was 1991, and I was a 10-year-old in 5th grade. Now, many of you know in 5th grade public education, we teach our children about American history, American government, and the American way of life. At the same time, while we were learning from our history books, our teacher would show us news on the television while the Persian Gulf War unfolded with Operation Desert Storm. And I began to feel something in my heart about what freedom really meant, about what opportunity and safety, what the military was really all about. And this idea of the American dream started to mean something to me as just a little girl. But what really drove it all home wasn't just the war happening on TV, and it wasn't just the curriculum in the textbook for 5th graders in the United States. It was the young boy in that class who was my friend, whose name was Abdullah, whose family had come from Afghanistan. Now, in those days, they were fleeing Soviet control. And for both political and physical safety reasons, their family left everything they knew, everything that was familiar, everything that was comfortable. They left the food they knew, the clothing they knew, the language they knew, the culture they knew. Even the color of the skin of most people around them now looked different. Every surrounding was different. But thanks to that young boy, Abdullah, and my gifted teacher, John Walsh, in 5th grade, I began to fall in love with America. Not because it's a perfect country, but because of the principles on which it stands. Because of the freedom and the hope and the opportunity. I began to understand that the American dream doesn't belong to America, but rather to humanity. Human beings all around the globe and throughout generations of time have craved safety for their children. They've craved opportunity, education, freedom, innovation. And I began to feel as a young 10-year-old patriotism bursting in my heart. Not the kind of patriotism that's arrogant or a sense of superiority, but the kind of patriotism that brings with it an awareness and a sense of responsibility. And it is that same awareness and sense of responsibility that sent my husband to Iraq twice and to Afghanistan twice as a proud member of the Utah Army National Guard. He loved the Afghan people. He ate with them. He recreated with them. He climbed to the top of a mountain every Friday with them. And I know it is an honor of his life to have served, fought, bled, and even died, trying to give them and their children the same freedom and opportunity he and I hope to give to our 7 children. I am so proud of the state of Utah, of our good governor, of our people who work and volunteer here. To say that today we say to you from Afghanistan, to the 765 more yet to come, welcome to the United States of America. We say welcome to the great state of Utah. And we say with full hearts, welcome home. I encourage every one of you listening, whether you belong to the citizenry or the business or the philanthropic world, whether you have access to $5 or $5 million, open your arms, open your hearts, and open your pocketbooks to share this beautiful American dream with our Afghan brothers and sisters. So many of them are the family members of Afghan men and women who also bled and died, not in a war that was ever between America against Afghanistan, but the war that America and Afghanistan fought hand in hand against terrorism, evil. That is the fight that continues to rage around the world. And how proud I am to see these beautiful Afghan men and women in this room. How proud I am to say, my husband loves your people, and I love your people. The governor asked, why are we here today? I'm here because 18 years ago, I fell in love with a man who was in love with the country I had loved since I was a 10-year-old little girl. And that's all thanks to my good friend, Dula, from Afghanistan. And so I repeat what I said just now. Please, Utah, open your arms, open your hearts, open your pocketbooks, and join me and our governor and the rest of this state in saying, welcome to the United States of America. Welcome to the great state of Utah, and welcome home. Thank you.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Tul study Masay. I would love to thank you, Mr. Governor, for what you've been doing for refugees in the state of Utah and Afghans in particular. So please accept my heartfelt gratitude for what you've been doing. I would like to share my own experience as an Afghan immigrant who came to the great state of Utah in January 2017. I will not talk about other things, but will share my own experiences. I came to Utah through this special immigrant visa program and got resettled here through some resettle agencies. Everything looked to me very new. All around, ground and sky, plants and trees. Culturally shocked, we were sort of lost. What is going to happen now? I started my first job working in a convenience store while I had 12 plus years of professional experience back in my home country working for different international organizations, and I could speak English. But that was how it was. So the reason why I'm saying is that when you move to a new country, things start from the beginning. But I never tried to give up. And I was still looking that there's a light, and I was still looking forward a bright and prosperous future. We had our own challenges: culture, people, laws, rules, and regulations. But beside all those challenges, after a while, I was exposed to opportunities, to employment opportunities, learning opportunities, professional training opportunities that I did not know at the beginning. And I was hoping that I knew it at the beginning when I came here. After a while, I got a job with a Granite School District. So working in a convenience store with 10 or 12 bucks per hour, and you're paying $1,200 per month for your rent and paying your bills, and raising 3 children and with your wife was challenging. But there was opportunity for me to grow and change that. I'm not saying working there is bad. I'm saying that as we demand more, so we have to work toward it. I started working as a language interpreter in August 2018, and I'm still working for them. The job that I have with the district is I'm mostly involved working with refugees. I go to different ESL classes, helping all those refugee students make sure that they blend into the system smoothly, and I give my advice and I share my stories with them, that what I had gone through back in my home country, that I was born in war, I was raised in war, and I grew up and I spent 31 years of my life in war. But I'm still here helping them set their goals for their future and for themselves, and for help their families to set their goals if they are sort of lost, just as me at the beginning. My children started going to school. Now that we've been living here for almost 4.5 years, my children who are going to school are age 8, 11, and 14, and they have already set goals for their future. They will love to become an educator, engineer, and medical doctor. Something that I had never dreamt of, something that I had never imagined in my whole life. Because they, as children, see the opportunities here, and they see that they can have a prosperous and live a decent life by following what is supposed to be done at this age. Whenever I meet my new Afghan fellows coming to the state of Utah, I share my own story with them. I tell them about the ups and downs and challenges. And they might be telling me that it was just because you were speaking the language, so you had the opportunity to get a better job and live a better life. But then I tell them this: my wife doesn't speak English, but there are opportunities, services provided for people who do not speak English, that they can also live a decent and better life. She's going through a professional vocational training through the Refugee Services Office. And she's halfway through her training. Last week, she already showed me a paper that she's been a high-paying job. Well, she showed me that paper, and I said, if you get this job, that will help us to make our another dream come true. Let's put our paycheck stubs together and buy our own house. Our kids can live in a bigger space, so no one will knock on our door or ceiling at 10 o'clock night. Um, uh, with this Afghan Community Fund, I believe the services being provided by different agencies, particularly Refugee Services Office and Center. I've seen other Afghans who do not speak the language, men and women, have gone through several vocational and professional training, and they are having a great job. They're making more than I do while I speak English, and they don't. Makes me jealous, but that's not the story. That's not my goal. The goal is that there are opportunities for everyone, men and women, to grow, to live a better and decent life. My Afghan fellows who are new here ask me, how are all these things managed? All these affairs, services being provided, what's going on here in this country? I have no answer, but there's only one thing I tell them. This is a great nation, and it has passionate leaders. Thank you.
Good afternoon, friends. My name is Naja Fatma Lockwood, and I am the co-chair of the Afghan Community Fund with Scott Anderson of Zions Bank. I am also a refugee from Vietnam. I came to the United States with my family on July 20th, 1975. And just like many Afghans who were quickly evacuated from their country, my family arrived empty-handed, except for some clothes and $100 from the United States government. We were met in Massachusetts by very caring people who helped us build a new life. I know firsthand the importance of a welcoming, supportive community. Utahns are no different. We want to help each other, we care about our neighbors, and we want to uplift those in need. We have a great opportunity to reach out to many Afghans coming to our state. Through the Afghan Community Fund, donations will be made to resettlement agencies and community groups working to meet the needs of our new neighbors. The fund will provide medical, food, household, and other basic necessities for Afghans where public funding is inadequate. The Afghan Community Fund is overseen by a committee including leaders from Utah's 2 resettlement agencies, International Rescue Committee and Catholic Community Services. And the State Refugee Service Office, Muslim Civic League, and the World Trade Center in Utah. This group will coordinate to ensure the funds are distributed to do the most good for Afghan arrivals. As of today, we have raised $275,000 for the fund. Zions Bank and the Samani Family Foundation each donated $100,000. The Sterling Family Foundation gave $75,000, and Steve Price with Price Realty Group gifted in-kind much-needed office and warehouse space. We invite you to visit www.utahcf.org/Afghan-response to make a donation. I grew up loving America because I was loved by America. Please join me in donating to the Utah Community Fund and extending a hand of friendship in this critical time to the new Afghans arriving in Utah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Naja, and to all of our speakers today. We so appreciate you. Let me conclude with just a quick story, if I could. Last night, I had the opportunity to have dinner with the Consul General of Vietnam. And they were here visiting as a delegation from San Francisco and talking. They'd been meeting with the World Trade Center Utah and other delegations throughout the state, looking for opportunities to increase trade between our country and Vietnam. And we had a wonderful discussion that last night about the history of our two countries. Of course, the war that was fought there many years ago, about refugees who had come to the United States, like Naja and her family. And we were then talking about economic opportunity. Vietnam is a rapidly growing country. Their economy is exploding right now. Utah has the fastest growing economy in the United States, and it just seemed like a wonderful opportunity for us to do business together. And as we were talking about business, at one point, the Consul General turned and in Vietnamese that was then translated, he said, you know, if it's only about the economy, we can do things together, and we'll have some success, but it will never be sustainable. It has to be more than just economic. It has to be about the heart. And he said, I feel something very special here in Utah. I feel that you are people with heart, and the people of Vietnam are people with heart as well. And we want to do more together. I was grateful for that. And as today as I look around this room and as I reflect on the words that were shared, I believe he's right. I believe that in Utah, we are people with heart. And the people who are coming here are people who have lost everything, who have left everything behind, and they desperately need people with heart. And so as we conclude, please be generous. Please open your hearts to our new neighbors as they come in. Treat them with the dignity and humanity and respect and love that they so deserve. And if you can, please open your wallets and donate to this incredible fund so that we can help them find a better life and live the Utah dream and the American dream. Thank you so much, and congratulations to all of you. Thank you.